Hi, it's Courtney, or Lots2Lose on YouTube. I wanted to make a video today because it's been a pretty busy week. I haven't made a video in 2 weeks because I just didn't feel like much was going on. I am 3 days into my pre-op liquid phase and I have 2 weeks to drink liquids. So Sunday was my birthday. I'm 49 now. Yay! And had a good birthday. I ate somewhat healthily, and then made this really cool pizza that Robin from my spring VSG group posted. Cauliflower crust, vegetarian, but I had some meat eaters in the house, so I put some pepperoni on it as well, and that was really good. And then my brother made my made my recipe of brownies, and so those were in the house, and I had 2.5 brownies on my birthday. So I started the liquid diet a day early to sort of make up for any mess I had made, because I knew that I had an appointment with my surgeon for my final consult in the 6-month period, and didn't want to accidentally be up weight, because that would not go well with insurance possibly. So that ended up not being the case, and today I was down 7 pounds. So I'm a total down of 59 pounds since starting the nutrition program in October, and still have 12 more days of liquids. So that I'll probably end up dropping another 20, I'm guessing, but I guess we'll really see. So like I said, my birthday was Sunday. I thought something else happened later in the week, but I'm kind of blanking. I'm trying to also go chronologically. Today I had an appointment with my surgeon, and that's where I found out that I had lost 7 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Yay. Let my husband come back with me to meet the surgeon this time, and in case he had any questions. And let's see, the surgeon was really happy. He was commenting on how much weight I had lost. Thinks things look great. He's very excited that I have taken care of all of my pre-op stuff, and my husband didn't have any questions. Dana mentioned having used, that her surgeon used the Da Vinci robot, and I asked him about that because I know he does the procedure via Da Vinci, or can, and I know that the hospital I'm having my surgery at has a Da Vinci robot, and he said he doesn't use it. He has found that it creates a lot more time in the surgery, because you spend 30 minutes with the Da Vinci, and then to suture your stomach back up, he prefers to do it by hand. And you have to wait, so you're 30 minutes having the surgery done, 30 minutes or so of moving the stupid robot around so that he can get in, and then 30 minutes to sew you up. And it just adds a lot of extra time to the anesthesia time. He said some surgeons will do it via Da Vinci and then have an assistant suture the stomachs up, but he prefers to do everything himself, because the suture part is the most important part, or the one thing, is the most common thing that might go wrong with the leaking, and you can have problems if you aren't really precise, and he just prefers to do it all himself, which I can certainly understand. So then today I had an appointment at the hospital where I'm having my surgery done at 2 in the afternoon to have the respiratory function test done, just because I mentioned shortness of breath in my initial consult with the surgeon, which I just really get from exertion. If I walk further than down the hallway, it's just kind of tough. So that was an interesting situation. The test, the little machine that they put you in, it's like a little booth. It was not very deep, so not all of my butt fit inward, and then it was not wide enough for me, so I had to really squish my, thankfully loosening up hip pockets to get into it. But I found that I was, because I didn't have very much of my butt squished in, like my butt is too long or something, I had to put a lot of weight on my feet and push. And so like my knees were locked and my feet were pressed hard against the ground during the whole thing, and it was 45 minutes or so. And by the in the first couple tests where I'm having to exhale really hard, I started to feel kind of dizzy. And she mentioned before that test that some people get kind of dizzy, so I didn't think much of it. And then one of the next two tests, I got a little nauseated after breathing out really hard. Still didn't think too much of it because I sometimes get nauseated. And then the final test was a deep breath, a long exhale, and then another deep breath. And that one was checking, they were putting in the air I was breathing in there. It had two other gases or chemicals or something, I can't remember, that I'm breathing in, and they're testing to see lung function, like how well your alveoli, I can't pronounce it, are transferring the gases that you breathe in to your bloodstream. And I had to do that one twice because they do things twice so that they get two results and make sure you get the same thing. I think she probably would have wanted to do it a third time, but after the second one, I passed out. Not a thorough, like I wasn't unconscious, but you know, I don't know if anybody else, I'm sure other people have had this. I don't know if you, the viewer, has had a similar situation where you just go sort of buzzy in your head and get sick to your stomach and just really weak. I got really cold and clammy. The girl doing my test just saw it immediately on my face and ran to me and held me up so that I wouldn't fall out in my weakness of the thing onto the ground, which I really wanted to do because I'm still sitting there in pain, not in pain, sitting there clammy with my feet pressed against the floor, which was causing the problem in the first place. Anyway, she called rapid response, and then they showed up finally with they did an EKG while I was still sitting in the thing, and then they put me in a wheelchair. It was too small. Yay! And then they made me switch to another wheelchair, which was big and very comfortable, and I rode in this wheelchair. I think they were dragging me backwards to the ER, and the whole time I'm just kind of sitting there, my eyes closed because it was just too much to have my eyes open and process stuff. Eyes closed, head down, kind of bent over. They kept wanting me to lean back, and I'm like, I'm sick. Since I'm bent down, and they wheeled me to the emergency room. No idea where in the hospital it was because my eyes were closed the whole time, and got me into a bed. Anyway, I have had a similar situation in the past where I was having blood drawn about 3 years ago, and in the waiting room, the chairs were too small. And so I opted to stand, even though I could barely stand, with my butt leaning against the wall or a windowsill, and I tried to sit on the windowsill. Again, too shallow, feet pressed into the floor, knees locked and straight. And I stood up at one point from that position. I looked at my husband and I said, I don't feel too good. And then I just slumped over. Didn't pass. I mean, I didn't. I didn't go unconscious, similar to today. But at that, they couldn't get me to get back up because I kept getting sick every time. So they called EMS and got me and took me to the hospital. Similar situation and similar same diagnosis. I think. Let's see if it's here. Syncope or near syncope, since I didn't actually pass out, since I didn't actually become unconscious. It's a vagal reaction or something like that. Anyway, so that was my day. I ended up in the hospital in the ER for 4 hours, because they kept me there to make sure I was okay, obviously, but they were concerned that, or making sure I didn't have a heart issue. I have a feeling that's a critical heart care ER, and so they just lean that way, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so everything was fine. My EKG was fine. The first one they did when I was still at the respiratory test. My blood work was fine that they did in the ER, and then 4 hours later when they did it all again, or 3 hours later when they did it all again, it was still all fine. So they let me go. Yay. While I was down there, when I was in the ER, the respiratory girl that was doing the tests with me came to visit and told me she called my surgeon to let him know what happened, and just made sure I was okay. And I tried to explain to her what I thought had happened, which was the syncope. And then I texted my husband because he wasn't there. I had sent him back to work knowing that the respiratory test was going to take a while. Texted him kind of blindly. No, I didn't text him. I speech to text because I couldn't really see to type still. I just said, passed out in ER. And he told his boss, and his boss said, go. So he came and hung out with me. And he showed up, and I was freezing. He was trying to help me stay warm, and I kept falling asleep because I was it was overwhelming. And that was making him nervous. And the other thing that was exciting about being there is that I guess the respiratory girl also called upstairs to the bariatric nurses and told the head nurse that I was down there in the ER. And so I got to meet the nurse who handles all the bariatric patients in that hospital, and had actually recently sent me an email to let me know that there's a support group and there's a Facebook group, and also what to expect from a pre-op appointment that I have at the hospital on Monday, which I plan not to pass out for. But it was really cool that he came down to introduce himself and visit. It really made me feel excited for my care at this hospital. I'm home now, obviously, because this is the same place I sit for all my videos, and trying to catch up on liquids. I was doing fine with my liquids, and then I passed out and didn't drink anything for 4 or 5 hours. They wouldn't let me drink or eat, which was basically drinking a protein shake, while it was there in case they needed to do any more emergent tests that they would want everything empty for, I guess. So that was yesterday. That was today. All right. Sorry about that. I had a visitor. Somebody that didn't get the memo. I was working on a video. Anyway, so I talked about today, and that I had my final consult today, and should be getting submitted to insurance. I'm going to ask. I'm going to call them tomorrow and ask and make sure that was happening. since I know my surgery is coming up pretty quick afterwards, and I would really hate for that to get screwed up. Plus, I've already heard enough horror stories from you guys in the spring VSG forum or Facebook page. Let's see. Oh, I know. It's my hospital bracelet from today. Hopefully I didn't share too much information there. And I also wanted to share that I got a mantra band. I actually got two. I can only find one at the moment. Let's see if I can. Oh, look at that. It shows up backwards. It says breathe. You can't tell. The other one I got says, what if you fly? Those were two that really spoke to me. I don't tend to breathe a lot. I mean, obviously we all breathe voluntarily, but I don't tend to breathe in very deeply. As a child, I wanted to remain as small as possible. And that continued on into adulthood. I can remember walking to class when I was in school, when I was in college, and walking about a mile with barely breathing, just because I wanted to not stand out. I didn't want to be the big girl. I was bigger than everybody else, but I thought maybe not breathing in very deeply would help. I don't know. It's just dumb. Anyway, I still suffer from that. I find myself not breathing very deeply, and then my stomach hurts, and then I breathe deeply and it goes away for a little bit. And that's also part of my anxiety. So that was the bracelet. And then the other thing I wanted to share, this is as a result of something that Cindy from Dallas shared on our Facebook group. I really loved the idea, so I did my version of it. Can you? Yeah, you can read it. And it's, I guess it's probably backwards. It's forwards for me, which is the important part. I think I bought like 325 beads or something. It was packages. I didn't specifically try to get 325. Packages of 65. So there's this one that says going, and this one that says gone. I don't know how. There we go. That's a little better. So far, this has 52 in it from my last doctor's visit. I thought I would like ceremoniously take 7 out of the going, put it into the gone, because I lost 7 more pounds. So what's in here is 6mm little beads called Millefiori, millions of flowers, and they all have little flowers on them. 1, 2, 3, 7, right? Okay. My plan, once this is empty, or empty-ish, or I'm goal weight or something like that, it's going to be mostly empty, unfortunately, is to take beads out of this one, all of them, when I'm done, and make a piece of jewelry out of them. That way I'm still wearing my weight, but in a much healthier way. I thought that was kind of neat. So, there we go. There we go. Goodbye, 7 little pounds. All right. So, I think that's the week. I feel like I forgot something, which I mentioned earlier, but it'll come to me and I'll post about it or something. On next Monday, I have a pre-op class sort of thing at the hospital, and I think they'll be doing EKG blood work and chest x-ray that day. And then on the 21st, which is next Thursday, I have a pre-op visit with my surgeon, and that's probably to get things paid for. And the pre-op thing at the hospital might be to get the hospital stuff paid for and go over any last questions, any last notes, or whatever. And then my surgery is on April 26th, which is in 13 days. In 13 days. I'm so excited. Anyway, I have dogs in here today, and I was hoping to get pictures, but I think they have retired to the far side of the bed and are hiding. They really wanted to go back downstairs with my brother, who's the person they interrupted. Anyway, that is it for now. Oh, you know, I talked about the fact that I'm the third day of liquids. I'm actually doing okay. I'm getting plenty of fluid in. The first day I got like 160 to 180 ounces of fluid, including my protein drinks and waters. I'm kind of hungry, not terribly hungry. I am hungry, but generally full because I've had so much liquid, which is weird. It's like you're too full and thinking you still can eat. Kind of like anybody in our situation can understand, probably. Anyway, I have a lot of liquid to get down tonight to make up for my fun day at the ER, though. I think that's pretty much it. I will hopefully make another video between now and surgery, maybe next week. See how I'm doing. Or maybe after, I'll do it after my pre-op visit with my surgeon on Thursday. Because that'll be another way in. That's exciting. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and hope everybody's doing well. And that's it. See ya. Bye.